I'd pictured walking out of prison differently. Not into winter wind and a rusted pickup waiting at the gate. Not to the smell of his cologne before I even saw him. My brother. He didn't hug me. Didn't even offer his hand. Just drove, wordless, down roads that still knew the tread of my tires. The house looked the same. Paint peeling on the porch, the same warped step before the door. Except now, she was there. My fiancée. Only she wasn't mine anymore. He stood in the doorway, blocking me like I was a stranger. "You're not welcome here." Her eyes slid past me like I was already dead. I swallowed the dust in my throat. "Where's my daughter?" He shrugged. "She died. Chemo was expensive. She asked for you at the end." Her hand touched his arm. It was meant to be comforting. It felt like a blade. They didn't know the first thing I learned in prison: never forgive. The door shut in my face. I didn't knock again. I walked back down the cracked path, each step heavier, colder. 5 years in a cell for a crime I didn't commit. His crime. I'd been stupid enough to trust him with evidence that could clear me. He'd given it to the police instead. The next week, he'd married her. And my daughter, no grave, no service, no picture. Just a sentence tossed into the air like it meant nothing. My chest felt hollow, but my head was working. Every flicker in her eyes. The way she gripped his arm too tightly when I asked about the girl. It wasn't grief, it was fear. I rented a room above a hardware store 3 towns over. I didn't go near them for 2 weeks. Instead, I went to the courthouse. Asked for my daughter's death certificate. They couldn't find one. Hospital records, same story. I found the pediatric oncology ward where she was supposed to have been treated. No record of her admission. No record of her ever being there. At night, I sat on the creaking bed, staring at the wall. Her face kept flashing in my head. The last time I saw her, standing at the glass in the prison visiting room, palms pressed to mine. Alive. I started with phone records. I knew his old habits, the numbers he wouldn't change. Traced calls to a prepaid cell, then to an address in a county 2 hours away. A woman answered. She sounded tired, guarded. But when I said my daughter's name, she went quiet. Then she hung up. The next morning I drove there. Waited across the street until a school bus pulled up. She stepped off. 5 years older. Taller. But her eyes? Mine. I didn't approach her. Not yet. I followed the bus the next day. Watched her run into the arms of the woman from the phone. The woman wasn't a stranger. She was my ex-fiancé's sister. The one who vanished from the wedding guest list at the last minute. It was all there now. The lie about the cancer, the cover story, my daughter hidden away, raised to believe I was gone. I sent an unmarked envelope to their house, my brother's house. Inside, a single photograph. My daughter stepping off that bus. An hour later, my phone rang. His voice was tight, low. "What do you want?" I said nothing. Just let him breathe his panic into the receiver before hanging up. I waited 3 days before knocking on their door again. He opened it fast this time, jaw tight, eyes darting. I handed him a folder. Inside were printouts, school records, photographs, birth certificate copies. Proof she was alive. Proof he had lied. His wife appeared in the hall, eyes red. She'd seen it already. "You told me she was dead," I said. Calm, flat. He stepped toward me. "We had to protect her. You were innocent." I didn't raise my voice. "You knew it, but you needed me gone." Her gaze broke from his, locking on me. For the first time, she didn't look afraid of me. She looked afraid of him. I turned to leave. I've already spoken to her. She knows everything. I didn't look back to see the damage hit. The next week, I sat on a park bench across from the school. She saw me, walked over slowly, like she wasn't sure I was real. When her hand touched mine, I didn't feel the years I'd lost. I felt the weight I'd dropped. I didn't tell her about the nights I'd planned every move, or the rage that kept me breathing when the cell walls felt too close. I just listened to her voice, memorized it. I knew I'd never speak to my brother again, and he'd never stop remembering the day I took back what he'd stolen. Some debts are paid in blood, others are paid in silence.